Primetime News with Israel Lai.
Good evening, and this is indeed the Primetime News here on Joy News. My name is Israel Lai. Coming up in the next hour, disagreement, confrontation and protest characterize special voting by members of the security forces and their colleagues who will be engaged on election day, with a real risk of some of them being disenfranchised. But the EC says all is not completely lost. Observer groups arrive in the country to monitor the electoral process. Former President Rawlings is meanwhile warning recent violent incidents recorded in the country, if not thoroughly dealt with, could affect the integrity of this year's election. We will again touch base with the campaigns of the various parties. All these and more, plus sports and business, coming up. Stay tuned.
Be the first to know it all. News, issues, promises, policies, and more from the Joy Election Headquarters. Text election to 1922. SMS costs 10 Ghana pesos. Powered by Infobox. Be the first to know it all. News, issues, promises, policies, and more from the Joy Election Headquarters. Text election to 1922. SMS costs 10 Ghana pesos. Powered by Infobox.
The number of officers belonging to the security agency stand a real risk of not being able to vote in this year's election as a result of problems with the special voting exercise that took place today. The day is set aside for members of the security forces, electoral commission officials and other persons who will be engaged with the electioneering on Friday. But as Seyram Abla de Souza reports, the exercise was plagued with several challenges which meant that many of the officers were unable to vote.
This was the scene at a number of polling stations we visited in the Greater Accra region. Prospective voters who could not locate their names on the special register. When our news team got to the Cantonment Police Station polling center in the Dadekotopon constituency, the police, immigration, army and fire service officials were in queue. Some were, however, unlucky. They waited for nearly 5 hours, only to be told their names were not in the roll and so could not vote there, having been already turned away from other polling stations.
No, we have C14. It's not in the queue. It's not in the book. My name is not in the register. It's not in the register.
I've been told I have to go to Bema Hall at Bema Camp to cast my vote because it's been done according to alphabetical order, but lack of communication.
There were similar complaints at the Teshi police station in the Lejokuku Krowo constituency. The entire fire service team from Teshi and Nungwa could not find their names in the register, though they claimed they had submitted their names for special voting.
Voting day,
Isaac Ochre, the district electoral officer for Dadekotopon electoral area, explains what may have caused the omission.
First of all, your name should be in the constituency. That is the Dadekotopon constituency. So if your name is not in the constituency, of course your name will not appear in any of our registers. The information came later, came a little bit late, but we gave it to their superiors. But I think they got it a little bit late. We are expecting about 4,587 for the special voting.
There was, however, no such incident at the Osu police station polling center in the Klole Klote constituency. In all, security personnel from prisons, Police, immigration, military and fire service got to cast their ballot in 41 centres in the Greater Accra region. Many of them will on Friday, when the rest of the electorate's vote will be posted to duty stations far away from their residence, constituencies and even regions. For those unable to vote today, this means it is unlikely they will ever get the chance to do so this year. It is therefore hoped the EC will announce some resolutions to their problems, even as it works to forestall similar incidents on the main election day this Friday. Sayram Abla D'Souza, join.
Now, the special voting exercise in the Okankwe South and Central constituencies of the Greater Accra region was marred with some confusion as some security personnel had difficulty finding their names in the special voters register. The confusion was a source of many confrontations between security personnel and the EC officers.
This was the scene at the Odoko Police Station polling centre in the Okaikwe Central constituency of the Greater Accra region. Here, scores of security personnel are unable to find their names in the special voters register, meaning they would either have to join the civilian population on Friday to vote or be disenfranchised altogether. The presiding officer at the polling centre eventually had no option but to refer the disgruntled officers to the Electoral Commission headquarters. Later, in an interview, the presiding officer at the Odoko Police Station polling centre, Emmanuel Insia, said the special voting process has been successful despite the challenges.
It's going on smoothly. We have no problem here. The problem is a special duty. Those who are supposed to go on special duty, they are voting today. But some seem to use the old system where we vote at a special place. This time we know it is for this central only, so that is the only people we are expecting here. If we want to give ourselves, we give 70% for what we have done.
Both parliamentary candidates of the NPP and the NDC were present at the centre to ensure a smooth process. They expressed their reservations about the challenges confronting the exercise.
With the special voting, you have to indicate that you want to do the special voting. And this is specifically made for officers, the security personnel, the electoral officers. Unfortunately, with the electoral officers, it is only the RO or the PO, that is the presiding officer. They are the ones who are doing the special voting. It means the numerous PAs are not going to do special voting. It means on voting day, they also have to go and vote before they continue the work that they are supposed to do. And there, I think there is going to be a challenge over there.
Most of them cannot find their names in the special voters register, and that is what is creating a problem for us now. And most of them too have been posted outside Greater Accra region. Some have to travel to the north, some have to travel to the eastern and the central region, and you are disfranchised them from voting at this point of time. So this is what is creating a problem. Some are insisting that they want to vote before they leave the polling center and go to their various stations. Those who are going to the north and then the eastern and Brongafo region are saying that they are supposed to leave tomorrow. And looking at the situation, I think it will be very difficult for them to cast their votes at where they have been posted.
This notwithstanding, they were both confident of winning the constituency come Friday. It was a smooth process at the Kaneshi Police Station polling centre in the Okaikwe South district of the Greater Accra region. Here, the challenge of security personnel not identifying their names in the voters' register was not at play. Instead, junior officers here could not understand why they were being asked to make way for their senior colleagues to vote.
Oh, yes, a whole lot of challenges, especially with the security services. Due to one or the other. That's why the other places too. We are having two centers. So we are trying to, divide them into two. But yes, because they are in uniform, they are trying to, use their positions and other things to overrule us. But, we being the officers on board, you have to tell them what they are supposed to do. But yes, they will not listen to us, despite that, though they are in uniform, so they are not listening to us. That's the main problem that we are facing now.
The matter was later resolved and officers at the center exercised their franchise in peace.
Now, security personnel away from Greater Accra, security personnel in the central region turned up in their numbers at the various polling centers to cast their votes. However, some of them, again, did not find their names in the voters' register. But the Central Regional Director of the Electoral Commission, Philomena Eduse, says that security personnel who did not find their names in the transfer register should have no cause to worry, since they can vote on the 7th of December. She traced the missing names to improper transfer, explaining most of the security personnel did not do the transfer themselves, having taken for granted that mere submission of their names to the Commission would suffice. She said that biometric voting has brought about some significant changes which require the cooperation of all for its successful implementation. As at 11 a.m., 275 out of 656 security personnel had voted in Cape Coast South, and 88 out of 138 had voted in the Abura, Asebu, Kwamankese constituencies. In a related development, the Coalition of Domestic Election Observers is saying it's urging the public to be patient with the Electoral Commission, as the new biometric voting system is a new system which is being tried. Sheikh Arimiyao is a member of the Governing Council of Kodea.
An successful exercise. Except that with any new system, you might have some challenges, which has come in the form of some of the concerns that have been raised. Many of the people who are going to cast their votes have expressed worries that they did not find their names. And in some cases too, we are told about some of the breakdown of the machines. But all these things, for me, are not things to worry so much about, because it has given us the signals that will help us beef up some of the things that we need to do to correct the system. There is also the assurance that those who are unable to cast their votes today, as part of the special voting, will be given the opportunity to cast their votes come 7th of December.
Now, the Electoral Commission itself is saying that it will soon issue a statement on today's special voting exercise and how the challenges that have come up will be resolved. Former President Rawlings is raising security concerns about Friday's election following recent events in Kumasi. The former president, during a meeting with a 6-member delegation from the African Union led by former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo, said the failure of the security agencies to thoroughly deal with the matter has left room for others to flout the law with impunity.
Former President Obasanjo, who was accompanied by the AU's Commissioner, Political Affairs, Peace and Security, Salamatu Husseini Suleiman, said Ghana has always been a beacon of hope for sub-Saharan Africa and hopes the trend continues.
All the parties, all the contestants, all the stakeholders will act according to the words and the intentions of Kumasi peace agreement, which in itself is very, very noble.
Former President Rawlings, in his response to the delegation, said even though Ghanaians are peace-loving, he was concerned about recent developments.
Some of the very corrupt elements who have emerged or are emerging in the constituency areas, for instance, who are determined, to perpetuate their stay by whatever means to advise themselves. The law enforcement agencies will not tolerate it. The military will not tolerate it. I'm not, and I speak specifically because I am aware of certain areas where some of them are full of so much impunity and audacity that they've actually gone ahead, fabricated tapes against their opposition candidates.
According to him, the inability of the police to thoroughly investigate the recent violence in Kumasi is encouraging others to break the law with impunity.
I'm hoping that the law enforcement agencies are paying attention and will take preemptive measures Okay? I would have wished, for instance, that the police had reacted by now against some of the cases in Kumasi. I would have wished the police had taken this matter up.
Answering questions from the media after the courtesy call, former president indicated he will be exercising his franchise as always, and with his wife disqualified from the presidential race, there is no doubt where his allegiance will be. He would, however, not disclose which party's parliamentary candidate he will be voting for.
Actually, I wouldn't have minded telling you who I was going to vote for in terms of the parliamentary candidate. You see what I mean? But not the presidential. We'll leave it at that.
The AU has deployed over 2,000 observers to monitor the December polls.
Now, the Commonwealth Observer Group will be monitoring the conduct of Friday's election following an invitation by the Electoral Commission. The Observer Group, made up of 12 eminent persons drawn from across the Commonwealth, include politicians, members of election management bodies, judiciary, academia, civil society, youth and the media, are already in the country and today held a news conference in Accra to brief journalists about their mission. The group's chair, Dr. Bethwell Pakalitha Mosisili, in an interview with Joy News, said that 2012 elections present an opportunity for Ghana to further enhance its democratic credentials and asked Ghanaians not to tarnish that enviable reputation.
We are the Commonwealth Observer Group, and we are strictly that, an observer mission to the Ghana 2012 presidential and parliamentary elections.
So would it be safe to call you a toothless bulldog?
No, that would be very unkind indeed. We are here to lend support and solidarity to the people of Ghana as they execute a very important national duty.
The UN has decided not to come because it feels Ghana is now a mature democracy or maturing, and in effect we wouldn't need their services. So why the Commonwealth? Because if anything at all, we would think that the UN trumps the Commonwealth.
We think, and the Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Kamalesh Sharma, thinks that it is important for the Commonwealth to honor and respond positively to an invitation from a member state.
When you say an observer and you don't have any say in anything that happens, but we wait for a report that comes out, in the event that the report does not favor one party or the other, and let's say the party is already in power, what then would have been the use of the observer?
Well, it is really an objective report that tries as much as possible to reflect what we saw happen. And we do venture some recommendations on how we think the whole system can be improved.
So it will be safe to say that whatever you're doing here today and within this period will be, as let's say, a benchmark document to look to for other elections.
Absolutely so.
In their effort to maintain peace before, during and after this year's election, the security agencies have met political parties representatives and media personnel in Kumasi to discuss issues relating to peace. The Ashanti Regional Police Command told the representatives to ensure peace in the region, advising the public to release information that will lead to the arrest of anyone in possession of weapons that may be used to disrupt the polls. Mohammed Nuruddin reports.
The commander reminded the public that what happened at Ashtown was not a political matter and would be dealt with as such. The regional command promised to maintain peace and order whilst entreating the media and political parties to provide information that might lead to the arrest of anyone intending to disrupt the elections.
If anybody has an information leading to this, please, the person should come to us. The person should quietly walk to us And immediately we will organize and make sure that we swoop the place and retrieve the weapons. Like to repeat again, as I said the other day, that has nothing to do with politics. It is purely a criminal act. We want you, both politicians and the newsmen, to also tell us if you have anything for us that will make sure that we continue to have the calm that we are having at the Central Region.
The chairman of the task force, DCOP Augustine Jennings, also asked the media to ensure that their facts were right before putting their stories in the public domain. He also advised voters to leave the polling station after casting their votes on the day. At the meeting, the two major political parties were unhappy with some of the statements of the chairman of the task force and shared their grievances.
Yes, I understand that it should be taken beyond the political level. So now we are getting the clearer picture. Even though it happened as a result of the political, campaigning, the issue now is beyond the political issue, because I believe that in terms of politics, there are these dialogues that we can come together and say that let bygone be bygone. And this is an issue that shouldn't be treated with. No. That,
it is purely
it should go beyond it, and somebody should be held responsible for the action.
The MPP regional chairman, F.F. Anto, insisted that voters should stay around at the polling station after casting their votes to protect the ballot boxes. Joseph Yamin suggested to the security task force that they urge the political parties to stop fomenting trouble, as was the case in the 2008 elections. In an interview with the MPP and NDC representatives after the meeting, both were unsatisfied with the directives of the security task force.
I am not. I'm saying that somebody is planning to do something, and he does not know those who are planning. So what sort of assurance is that? So what do you want them to do? When people talk about the fact that the police are going to add more, I say no, because it's not possible.
That the reaction will have to come from the security service themselves. I'm sure that he made this public platform through the media. So the security will have to act on this. But what he is, advising us as NDC to do is also go by the same actions that they are taking. So from here, I am not going to abide by the security directives.
The security task force will from Wednesday embark on a special exercise on unregistered motorbikes.
Now, the Electoral Commission, in its bid to enable the blind and persons with disability vote independently, has reintroduced the tactile ballot for December 7. The Commission has organized an intensive training on the use of the tactile balloting system for members of the Ghana Federation of the Blind and PWDs, so they could familiarize themselves with the process.
Principal PRO of the EC, Sylvia Arnaud, explains the tactile ballot ensures credibility and fairness as the voter exercises his or her franchise without the help of anyone. The physically impaired will identify the candidates by the number of pebbles aligned against the candidate on the tactile jacket, and will therefore thumbprint appropriately after counting the number of pebbles which indicate the positions taken by candidates.
And we're going to supply every polling station with a tactile ballot, and they have been taught how to go about voting. Apart from that, if on their own, if somebody wants to allow a family member to assist him or her, that would be the person's own choice, the voter's own choice. So that if, for instance, you have one, you have the numbers, they are able to detect using their fingers, and then they vote according to the number.
President of the Ghana Federation of the Disabled, Joseph Eduboapong, who confirms to Joy News he and his compatriots have been taken through the training to enable them vote independently, said the system is effective as compared to previous methods.
I'm very sure that this particular election, people are going to give their votes. It's an interesting exercise that we have tried. And yes, we have used it before, and the officers also know that if you can't talk or hear, they know that the purpose of coming there is what? To just vote. And then to get the name We also educated them. They will write their name, and then together with their the identification, they can be identified and they will be allowed.
Silviano asked presiding officers to give the physically challenged, the aged, and expectant mothers priority on election day.
You're watching the primetime news on Joy News. Former presidential candidate of the People's National Convention, Dr. Edward Mahama, is advising his party to concentrate on winning as many parliamentary seats as possible, as their presidential candidate has absolutely no chance of winning this year's election. In an exclusive interview with Joy News, Dr. Mahama says much as he has washed his hands off the party, he is providing some financial support to some parliamentary candidates he believes could make it to Parliament.
Dr. Mahama would not say which PNC parliamentary candidates are enjoying his support, but said he was confident the party will win some seats.
You know, there are candidates for parliament who are asking for my support. There are party executives who want to organize things and they're asking for my support, and I'm supporting them. Well, the presidential, as I said, the nation now is looking at the two leading candidates from what I pick up from the ground and even the media. You know, I haven't run 4 times for president and haven't said some of the things I thought needed to be said. I now feel like it's time to take a holiday, taking it easy, so that the new executive of the party can go the way they want to go.
Despite the public ridicule suffered by the PNC's presidential candidate, Dr. Mahama says he has something to offer.
He did well. He had some ideas. He had some ideas. You know, they say even the fool has something to say. So I'm not saying he's a fool. I'm saying that he has some ideas. But people have condemned him without listening to what he had to say.
Do you believe in your candidate?
He's my party's candidate, yes.
So do you believe in him?
He's my party's candidate. What he does, it doesn't matter. He's the candidate my party chose. If Ghana chooses a Goat to be its president, I'm still Ghanaian.
He also advised the youth not to allow politicians to use them to foment violence.
The presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has reaffirmed his commitment to making senior high school education free and to motivate teachers if voted into power. This, according to him, will ensure that both the rich and poor have access to free, quality education from kindergarten up to SHS level. Nana Addo made this point when he addressed party supporters at the Koforidua Jackson's Park in the Eastern region as part of preparations towards ensuring a resounding victory in the upcoming elections.
The arrival of the NPP presidential candidate, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and his entourage brought great joy at the Koforidua Jackson Park, as over thousands of NPP supporters thronged the Jackson Park to catch a glimpse of him and listen to his educational policy. Enthusiastic supporters clad in party t-shirts paraded the streets of the New Durban municipality amidst brand band music and chanting of praises in party songs. The presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, assured the people of Ghana that his administration will stabilize the city against the country's major trading currencies, modernize the economy, and start an industrial revolution that would generate the needed jobs for the people and also create wealth for the nation. On the issue of free SHS, he said Ghanaians cannot wait for the next 20 years before benefiting from free senior high school education, as the NDC government is suggesting. Nana Akufo-Addo stressed that illegal judgment debts paid by the NDC to Boyome could have been used to fund the free HS education. He indicated that fertilizer prices will be subsidized to make the commodity more affordable to farmers in order to boost food production. He promised that if given the chance to govern the country, he will use the oil revenue to invest heavily in the educational sector to produce quality graduates. The Deputy Communication Director of the NPP, Samuel, who urged the people to come out in their numbers to vote massively for Nana Akufo-Addo and remain resolute and ensure that there is no rigging. Haruna Yusuf Wumpini's report for Joy News.
Elsewhere, President John Mahama says experience from other African countries such as Kenya and Botswana indicates how problematic free education can be. He is also urging all Ghanaians, especially supporters across the country, not to pay attention to provocations, especially during Friday's polls, for late President Mills' sake. This was a central message as he toured 13 constituencies in the Greater Accra region yesterday.
The purpose of his tour, according to him, is to present himself for winning blessings. The first stop for the president was Ada, where he was met by an ecstatic crowd with placards on which their needs were captured. He told them contracts had been signed to improve their road network. The president met with the Adam Traditional Council, from where he proceeded through Goi to the Manuel Park in Ashaman. Here, he discouraged the people from voting for an NDC person who is now an independent candidate in the parliamentary elections, as he endorsed incumbent MP lawyer Akoshi. He promised to build a hospital for Ashaman and cautioned against acts of violence, adding security personnel will not spare perpetrators. The president moved to Ningo Prampram. He told the people that the roads to Aklagbanya, the Sea Defense Project, London sites and bookstores for fishermen are on contracts for construction. Every home in the area will have electricity, he says. Bon Kantamanso constituency was his next stop. He emphasized the benefits of quality as against free education. At Tema Community 2, he said the town will be restored to its past glory because Valco will begin full operations and employ more people. He said that Tema Doorway will be expanded to a 6-lane road with an interchange at the roundabout. Tema New Town was not on his schedule, but scores of people engulfed him as he went through there. He made another stop at Nungwa, where he met with the chief and addressed the people. The president went through Dansoman with a promise to fix all inner roads before addressing the crowd at Choco and La Olympia at about 2:50 a.m. with a promise to build new markets for the town folks there.
The Minister of Roads and Highways, Joe Gidesu, has been touting his ministry's achievements over the nearly 3 years the NDC has been in power. Addressing a news conference today, he said its focus has been to provide better distribution and integration of the road network system with special emphasis on safety, affordability and mobility.
According to Joe Gidesu, from 2009 to 2012, the Ministry of Roads and Highways pursued several agendas to improve its policies. These, he says, include maintenance of road assets, improving road maintenance financing, improving disbursement of donor funds and development of key road corridors.
On the central corridor, we have the Ashimota-Ofankor Road, which we inherited at a point of 44% and is now 100% complete. On the eastern corridor, the Asikuma Junction to Howeb, we awarded this project in November last year, and works are ongoing and about 15% complete. On the coastal corridor, we have the Agona Junction to Elubo Road project, and contracts have been awarded in 3 lots in August this year. The Accra, the Gifat and Bema Camp Roads project commenced in 3 lots in September this year.
Others include axle load control and implementation of sub-regional programs, public-private partnerships, as well as monitoring and evaluation. He added, in line with government's commitment to continue major road projects started before 2009, funds have been provided for their completion. He provided an update on a number of the projects.
in the Greater Accra region, we inherited the Tetekwashi Madina Road. As at 2009, it was 53%. As at now, it's 78% complete. The Nswan bypass was only 13% at the time we took over. But as we speak today, it's almost complete. On the Nkoko bypass, that was done substantially, about 98%. But as at now, we have completed it. The Akachi Agbozume, also only mobilization was paid. But as at today, that project is also completed.
He denied claims government is refusing to compensate persons affected by some road projects, stating government is committed to the settlement of all compensation to eligible beneficiaries. He conceded in spite of the major achievements made, the sector still encountered a number of challenges which have encouraged the ministry to adopt a number of positive interventions.
The use of motorbikes will be seriously restricted during voting this Friday because of the tendency for rabble-rousers to use them to disrupt the elections and cause trouble. There have been calls for a total ban on their movements during voting, but the police says they will not be allowed within 200 meters of polling centers. The director of public affairs of the Ghana Police Service explained, speaking in an exclusive interview with Joy News earlier today.
Former Inspector General of Police PK Champon yesterday called for a total ban on the movement of all motorbikes on election day, having been used in the past to snatch ballot boxes and being the main getaway vehicle for those who perpetuate election violence. The Director of Public Affairs at the Ghana Police Service, DSP Cephas Arthur, however, says a complete ban will be impractical as it remains the main form of transport for a lot of people. In an interview with Joy News, he, however, said there will be strict monitoring of the movement of motorbikes to ensure they are not used to foment trouble.
Some past events have shown that some miscreants try to use motorbikes to cause commotion and to disrupt elections. So to be proactive, we have gone ahead to say that we are not allowing them to come close to the polling station, but we're also not saying that they wouldn't ride at all.
He indicated the police MTTU will also have its own specially trained armed squad that will be on motorbikes on election day.
Some MTTU personnel have been trained to use arms, and they are also going to be deployed alongside. They are going to use very high-performing motorbikes. And unlike other times when they are using their motorbikes, they are going onto the roads to do motor checks and ensure that drivers adhere to traffic regulation. This time around, they are going to also be on standby, provide security, and if anybody attempts snatching ballot paper and running away, then they will also do their work, chasing them, and they are also armed.
DSP Cephas Arthur said the duty of the police towards the elections would end after the election results have been announced, after which their commanders would officially dismiss them. He called on all Ghanaian voters to cooperate with the security agencies to ensure peace prevails.
Be the first to know it all. News, issues, promises, policies, and more from the Joy Election Headquarters. Text election to 1922. SMS costs 10 Ghana pesos. Powered by Infobox. Be the first to know it all. News, issues, promises, policies, and more from the Joy Election Headquarters. Text election to 1922. SMS costs 10 Ghana pesos. Powered by Infobox.
Now in business, the National Communications Authority has assured it is committed it will play its regulatory role to ensure optimum mobile service delivery, especially during and after the elections. It comes in the wake of consistent network disruptions on mobile networks in recent times. The authority has since directed MTN to, with immediate effect, cease selling new SIM cards until further notice. Deputy Director in charge of Corporate and Consumer Affairs, Malco Zomelo, assured the move is an indication of the authority's commitment to ensuring optimum service delivery by the operators, especially on election day. MTN, however, says it is engaging and cooperating with the NCA to implement the directive. In a statement, the mobile operator assured its customers it is urgently working to address the network challenges. Bank has cut its benchmark interest rate by 25 basis points to 3% as it looks to counter a slowdown in its mining sector that has also been struggling with a stubbornly strong Australian dollar. A rate cut usually weakens a currency. We'll now bring you some smart investment tips. In sports, a much-awaited National Women's League has been launched at the premises of the Ghana Football Association with a call on all and sundry to help promote the league as the nation stands to benefit tremendously from the sport.
The competition, which is yet to be played in two sectors, that's the Northern and Southern, would see 12 teams compete in its maiden season. The participating teams include Reformers Ladies, Ashtown Ladies, Lepo Ladies, Bulga Gatel, Ampem Dakwa Ladies and Fabulous Ladies for the Northern sector. Hazaka's Ladies, Ayola Ladies, Immigration Ladies, Soccer Intellectuals, Cape Coast Gatel and Ho Gatel will compete in the Southern sector. The league would kick off on December the 16th with no sponsorship, meaning it will be solely funded by the FA. The president of the Ghana Football Association, Kwesi Nyantichi, used the occasion to call upon corporate sponsorship to support the league due to the expensive nature in running it. The chairperson of the National Women's League Board, Madame Liniadi, is confident that the 12 teams are well prepared for the season.
I've actually traveled the length and breadth of this country, not only to see the teams, but to also organize the competitions. And the zeal with which the teams come to participate, you realize that they are also moving from a different level to another level. And they are all taking the game seriously. I believe you're going to have lots of fans to have from this league.
Winners of the respective zones will play a one-off match to determine the national champion at the end of the season. Two teams that finish bottom in either of the two sectors after the season will be automatically relegated, while the third from bottom sides would compete in a one-off fixture to determine which side joins the two other relegated sides.
Tanzanian fighter Pascal Ndomba failed to answer the bell for the 7th round as Ghana's popular boxer Brahima Kamoko, also known as Bukumbanku, won the new WBO Africa Cruiserweight title on a technical knockout last Saturday at the Lebanon House in Accra.
Banku won the bout easily in a one-sided encounter, as Ndomba appeared to have lacked ideas and devised a panacea for Banku's ceaseless punches. dubbed Ghana for Peace with regards to Ghana's national elections come Friday, Banku entered the ring hanged on a cross and virtually dragged through the fans before mounting the ring. Ndomba tried to recover but could only do so in the 4th round with jabs and 1 or 2 punches. But Banku quickly roared and took dominance of the bout until the 7th round when the Tanzanian failed to answer the bell. The victory puts the tough-talking boxer in the reckoning for a world title shot. Thus, his promoter, Manly Spain, wants to become a reality.
In the next world title holder. The next fight is coming on in February. The IBF or the WBO is going to be on. No matter what, we will bring the title home to Ghana.
Kamoko and his fans have been yearning for a world title shot over the years, and this should come as a welcome news for them.
This is the showbiz segment of Joy News at 8, and I am Marian Toure. Lovers of gospel music who were present at the dome of the Accra International Conference Center last Saturday sure left the venue satisfied and filled with the Lord's anointing. Sonny Badu and Lionel Peterson, along with the other billed artists, gave their audience a memorable concert. Prayers were also said for peace in the country during and after the elections.
Let Peace Reign concert was a perfect cushion Ghana needed as it gears up for elections on December 7. Prayers were said for peace during and after the elections during the concert.
God himself will give us a peaceful election.
The show picked up slowly as many patrons struggled for space at the hugely patronized concert. After several minutes needed by organizers to do with a stampede at the gates due to the hundreds of people rushing to be part of the event, the show kicked off, but some patrons had to be disappointingly turned away. Dressed in all white apparel and with a huge white handkerchief in her hand, songstress Ohima Mercy hit the stage with such energy, and in a prophetic tone, she declared that the nation will still enjoy peace even after the elections. Indeed, all the artists built to perform the night moved the crowd. It was such a terrific night. World-renowned South African gospel artist and worship leader Lionel Peterson, who has 55 years of music experience at his disposal, melted hearts, renewed souls, and gave hope to the afflicted with his spirit-filled songs. Special guests Fanny Face, Ramsey Noah, and John Dumelo also tried their hands on music. John Dumelo looked the more determined of the three, and fortunately for him, he was the worst. Fanny Face played it safe by letting patrons help him sing. Ramsey Noah proved the better of the three, singing two songs skillfully. For his faith performance in his beloved country, Ghana, Sonny Badu was no stranger to what Ghanaians wanted, and he did serve that on a silver platter. Despite a few hitches with the sound when he came on stage and the small fire that sparked on stage, he did not get demoralized and went ahead to thrill the audience.
And PM Express is standing by right now with the best political news for you. And moving on to other stories in showbiz, the man who is famous for his unique musical instrument, Kologo, and his love for the illegal substance weed says the Kologo and weed together help him to play high life hip life and local tunes very well. Not forgetting his incredible voice, which travels far when he says, "Kai, kai, 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 kai."
King Ayisoba, who is known in real life as Aposori, insists that he is put in his right senses and gets more ideas to create his music after smoking the illegal substance weed.
I smoke. If you ask me, I cannot say I know they smoke. Why? And if you smoke, I used to compose my things well, and I didn't do bad. I didn't fight before. I didn't thief anybody before. But many people, they smoke. If you ask them, I know they smoke, but if they smoke, be like thief. One day they will cut you.
King Ayisoba, who is mostly known for playing his unique musical instrument, Kologo, says the Kologo has a spirit. So apart from the weed giving him more ideas, the spirit in the Kologo also helped him to play high life, hip-hop and local tunes very well. Not forgetting his incredible voice, which travels afar when he says,
"Champions not easy. If you be musician, be footballer, you have to make training. If you don't make training, my friend, you cannot take champion. Always you have to train, you have to learn." Kai, 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 kai.
Wow, this is really incredible. His style of music has brought him to the international front and has currently been nominated for the Kora Award. The Pidgin singer says the nomination is his guarantee that he has already won the award.
Award is my own, no doubt.
Ayisoba, currently based in Accra, is enjoying a 10 years marriage with a kid. He is working on his new album and promises his fans to look forward to great hits from him.
Play the whole world. Ayisoba, play the whole.
And that's it in showbiz for tonight. Back to Israelite.
Thank you very much, Marianne, and you almost scared me with that kai 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 at the end of it. But that's it for the bulletin. My name is Israelite. Have a good evening. On behalf of the entire production team, I say good evening to you all.